This tragic story is what you would call a holy betrayal. It is so crazy to even imagine that the same person you share the altar in church with would go behind your back to make an arrangement that would have your life taken untimely. Around 9:15 p.m. on the 4th of March 2025, Reverend Father Sylvester Okechukwu was in his residence in St. Mary's Catholic Church, Tachira, Kaduna State, Nigeria, when some armed men stormed the compound to kidnap him. When they arrived at the residence, Father Sylvester was said to have run inside a particular room in the house to hide, but the kidnappers knew exactly where to go and look for him. The reason why the kidnappers seem to have known the ins and outs of the Reverend Father's house would later turn out to be a case of betrayal, too painful to even imagine. The invaders successfully abducted Reverend Father Sylvester that evening and then disappeared with him into the darkness of the night. News of his abduction spread quickly across the entire Tachira community and the Catholic Church as a whole. Security teams were informed about the abduction, and efforts were made all through the night to find the kidnappers and also rescue Father Sylvester. However, around 10:15 a.m. on the next day, barely 13 hours after his abduction, Reverend Father Sylvester's dead body was found in a different village within the same local government area in Kaduna State by a joint security team. The body had signs of violence, which suggested that he was probably tortured before his life was eventually taken. The corpse was recovered and then transported to St. Louis Hospital, Zonkwa, for a post-mortem examination. To avoid any tension and possible retaliation by the Christian community in the state, the Catholic Diocese of Kafanchan quickly made a press release expressing their deep sorrow over the incident, but most importantly, the church leaders admonished the community members to remain calm and also allow security agencies to carry out a thorough investigation rather than resort to retaliation. The state authorities also called on residents to remain calm as the police carry out their investigations to fish out the culprits. The U.S. mission also expressed their displeasure by condemning the senseless killing of the Reverend Father. They called on Nigerian authorities to ensure that the perpetrators were caught and brought to justice. Due to how sensitive the case was, the security forces intensified efforts to track down those responsible for the abduction and murder. An aggressive manhunt was launched, and within a couple of days, the first suspect would be caught, who would then go on to make a shocking confession that would reveal a tragic betrayal within the church. Reverend Father Sylvester Okechukwu was a 45-year-old Catholic priest in charge of St. Mary's Catholic Church in Tachira, Kaura local government area of Kaduna State. He was described as a dedicated servant of God who worked selflessly in the vineyard of the Lord, spreading the message of peace, love, and hope. Father Sylvester was also said to have always been available and accessible to his parishioners, thereby making his death a painful loss to his members. On Tuesday, March 25, 2025, just 20 days after his tragic death, the security team made a major breakthrough in the case. Troops of Operation Safe Haven in Jos Plateau State successfully arrested the killers of Reverend Father Sylvester Okechukwu, and the mastermind behind the abduction turned out to be someone whom no one would have ever imagined. The soldiers first arrested 33-year-old Pate Yao at his hideout in Ruga Settlement, Plateau State. Pate Yao then confessed to the soldiers that he was hired by one Douglas Henry in Kaduna State to gather some men who would take part in the abduction of the Catholic priest. Hearing this, the troops launched a follow-up operation that led to the capture of Douglas Henry at Tachira in Kaduna State. To everyone's surprise, Henry was a co-tenant to Father Sylvester. He was also an active member of St. Mary's Catholic Church, where Father Sylvester was the parish priest. According to reports, Henry was the keyboardist of the church. He was also a well-known dancer in the parish. It turned out that it was Henry who came up with the plan to have Father Sylvester abducted. He claimed he was broke and also badly in need of money to solve his problems. According to him, he was in urgent need of the sum of 200,000 naira, so he reached out to Pate Yao and then asked him to hire other men for the job. Since he stayed in the same compound with Father Sylvester and also attended the same church with him, it is safe to assume that he knew a lot about the Father's movement. Henry monitored Father Sylvester closely and then provided all the information necessary for his abduction to Pateyawo and his gang. He scheduled the abduction to take place on that Tuesday, March 4th, 2025, which was just a night before Ash Wednesday. However, what Henry never planned for was the tragic ending that ensued after Father Sylvester was successfully abducted. According to him, he never instructed Pateyawo to take Father Sylvester's life. He claimed he only asked them to abduct him and then have the church or his family raise ransom for his release. Henry said he was shocked when he found out that Pateyawo and his gang had taken Father Sylvester's life that same night.
It's a temptation. I don't expect it. When the thing happened, now I'm regretting what I did. Seriously. I'm looking for money. That is why. Yes. Don't ask them to kill. I said I need the money. If they catch him, I need the money, not to kill him. They told me that they killed him. I said, why is it that they did that? It's not what I asked them to do. It's not what I asked them to do, and they now kill him. Why did they do that? And what I did not expect to happen is what they did.
Pateyawo is yet to reveal why Father Sylvester was murdered on the same night he was kidnapped. It is believed that Henry did not take an active part in the abduction process, so it is unlikely that they silenced Father Sylvester to prevent him from revealing their identity. At the time of making this report, the other members of the gang were yet to be apprehended. The troops who arrested Douglas Henry and Pateyawo are still investigating to ascertain the location of the remaining fleeing suspects. The sad thing is that they wasted Father Sylvester for nothing, because the 200,000 naira Henry needed from the venture was not gotten, since they didn't allow Father Sylvester to live long enough for the ransom amount to be raised. It would also interest you to know that this tragic incident happened on the same day that the Diocese of Auchi in Edo State also sent out a prayer appeal for the release of a priest and a seminarian who had been abducted from St. Peter's Catholic Church the previous day. The kidnappers initially demanded 100 million naira as ransom, but later settled for 10 million. However, they ended up killing the seminarian, while the police were said to have rescued the priest. Reverend Father Sylvester's tragic murder follows a series of other incidents that have targeted Catholic priests in the country. On February 6, 2025, Reverend Father Cornelius Damulag, a priest of the Diocese of Shendam and a student at Veritas University, Abuja, was kidnapped in the early hours of that Thursday in his residence at Abuja. Luckily, Father Cornelius was able to escape from his abductors after spending 7 days in captivity. He was found roaming the highway around 12 noon and then rescued by the police patrol team. Later on February 19, 2025, Reverend Father Moses Jah of St. Mary's Maijuju Parish in the Shendam Diocese was abducted alongside his niece and the parish council chairman. The parish council chairman was reportedly murdered, while Father Moses and his niece are yet to regain their freedom. Most recently, on February 22, 2025, Reverend Father Matthew David and Father Abraham Salman were abducted from the Diocese of Yola, Adamawa State. They were eventually rescued by security forces. However, just like in Reverend Father Sylvester's case, the abduction was said to have been masterminded by one Taledu Damian, a member of the parish where the two Reverend Fathers served. Father Sylvester's burial had long been conducted, and may his soul continue to rest in peace. Share your thoughts on this case in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more true crime stories. Thank you for watching and stay safe.